Shalom everyone, you're here for Hebrew in Israel. We are currently in the southern excavations of the Temple Mount. What you see down here is the area known as the Ofel. Lots of layers here. There are sections here that date back all to the first century and even earlier than that. Mount of Olives. And the southern wall. Most of what you see these days is Islamic, dates back to the House of Umayyah, the Abbasi. Okay, but there are sections we can see the lower stones. Right over there you can still see the lower stone, the larger stones which were used in the Second Temple era. This area had a massive flight of stairs that went all the way down to the City of David. Okay, we're going to get there in a second. Not City of David, but to the stairs. So you see they reconstructed a lot of the stairs, but you still have some of the stairs here. And this is the Pilgrim's Road. A lot of it's underground these days, but part of it's been opened. You can still see column parts and column bases. That's the southern part of the Al-Aqsa Mosque. You can see the grey dome. So for those who don't know, there's the Al-Aqsa Mosque and then there's the Dome of the Rock. These are two different structures. The entire mountain is called in Islamic tradition Haram al-Sharif, but there actually is a division of different sections there. So the Dome of the Rock is the Golden Dome, Qubat al-Sahra, and then you have the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which means the extreme mosque, the mosque to the south. Really, the name Al-Aqsa, for those who study Islamic traditions, know that Al-Aqsa really refers to some kind of a heavenly temple, a heavenly mosque, but they decide to call it Al-Aqsa. The tradition about Jerusalem in Islam is quite complex. There were times in Islam that they didn't care about Jerusalem, or they used it for political reasons. It has a whole history of its own. Stones from the Second Temple era are enormous. So I have my trusty cane here. Okay, I don't know if you can really see it, but if I turn maybe around, you can see this is a cane for a tall adult. Okay, and it goes all the way down over there. So basically, you have from here all the way down over there. Okay, basically a rock almost the height of an average human. Okay, it's actually pretty big. And these are the type of stones they used to use for Second Temple construction. Islamic stones are usually much smaller. A lot of stones were reused. So for example, you can see stones here which are reused, and then on top of them, or next to them, smaller stones. Okay. So, this is the southern wall. The wall itself is complete. The western wall is also complete, but it's buried within structures and houses and so on. And basically, eventually you get to other gates. Now, usually they call them Khulda gates. What's behind them is what's called Solomon's Stables. And Solomon's Stables have been renovated, quote unquote. Basically what they did is they destroyed anything that was Jewish and basically covered everything with marble and said, hey look, we renovated. Yeah, you just destroyed priceless archaeology. This has been recorded and there's a row about it for years now. But basically you see these rounded gates which are atypical to Second Temple construction, where they used to use square or rectangular gates. And these should be two gates, not three. Okay, these are referred to as Khulda gates. Behind it are actually tunnels that have been recorded. There are pictures inside. You can see the geometric shapes they put on the walls because, as Josephus describes it, they refused to put in anything that was imagery, idols, and so on. Okay, so these are the gates. And there's a bit of debate where they're called Khulda. Some people think because you emerged in Temple Mount like rats that come out, but it's a bit of a weird name. And then you have here the Second Temple era stones, large, with the typical Herodian carving, creating a bit of a brim around everything. And then when you would stand from here, you would see the city of David that goes down into the valley.